In this next lesson, you're going to be working with images and hyperlinks. I've split this into two separate pages, and that's really for those people that are brand new to working with hyperlinks and images. For those of you that are more experienced, just make sure you visit each of those pages so that you understand what the requirements are for this project. So I'm going to start with hyperlinks or links, and then the next video we'll talk about just images. So I have my drawing done. I've got my my topics here of what I'm going to do. Don't worry about formatting these right yet. You're going to do that in the uh, final lesson for this project. So don't waste time formatting it and changing the size, all that business, because I'm going to show you a couple of tips and tricks to make that happen. So I'm going to be working with hyperlinks. So I have one of the steps is exploring the topic. So I have a couple links already set up. These are called hyperlinks. The text is linked to the website. Okay, if I need to edit that or copy it, I can copy, I can edit the link, or I can just remove the link if it happens to take me to the wrong one. On that lesson page, there's an article about why we do hyperlinks instead of just copying and pasting the URL. For students that rely on screen readers, that pasted URL is difficult for the screen reader. It will try and read all of that, and you know how ugly those URLs can be. So this is a much easier read and more understandable read for those students that rely on that type of assistive technology. So please make sure you review that information and are comfortable with it for future things that you do with your students outside of this class. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show another couple ways of doing or demonstrating creating hyperlinks. I already have this text written down. I recommend that you go and find your websites ahead of time if you're going to provide these for your students. I think at all levels, it's a good idea to provide some one or two sites that you want students to make sure they include in the research, but you're the expert at your grade level, so you do whatever is appropriate. But I already found this site. It's all about Nevada, so I'm going to copy that URL, and then I'm going to go to the lesson page, and I'm going to just hyperlink that phrase. And then I'm going to use the link option here. There's an insert link, but there's a shortcut that I like to use, which if you're on a PC, a Windows computer, and this is on the lesson page, it's Control K. I'm on a Mac, so it's Command K, and it brings up the link, and I paste it in. So I apply that, and that becomes the link to that website. Okay, so let's see. Let me just go over that one more time. I'll explain why that's doing that in a minute, why that's moving down to the next page. I like to keep it on. Okay, so here's one on 70 fun facts website. Oops. Okay, so in this case, I'm just going to select all of it. I have the 70 fun facts website already loaded up. I just didn't want to take time out of our, and I would recommend that you find those websites first. I'm going to copy that link, and then I'm going to choose insert link and paste it in there. Okay, so that's hyperlinking. You can actually hyperlink an image. So if I wanted to hyperlink this image, I'm just going to use the same website. This is not appropriate in this case, but just as a demonstration. Insert. Oh, looks like I've already hyperlinked that one as an example. Okay, so let's just remove that. And let's do it again. And I'm going to paste in the website. Now, and we'll go over this a little bit more, but if I was going to hyperlink this image, I would make sure I told the students, click on the image below, to visit the blah, blah, blah website. I wouldn't just assume that they would know to click on an image in this instance. So again, you know your students, make sure that it's very clear to them what they are expected to do as they progress through your project here. All right, so that's hyperlinking. Basically, you are selecting text, you are pasting in a link to their website or wherever you want them to go. Now you can also link to a file. So I have an example here, just a document that I want my students to submit their link to. So I'm going to share this document. If it's just my students, I can leave it as Clark County School District. And I'm going to need to give them editor rights so that they can submit their link. Otherwise, they won't be able to. Click Copy Link. I'm going to select the text that I want to be my link to, the hyperlink. Paste and apply. So when they get to this part, it would open up that document for them. And I might ask them to do that early on so I can kind of check on their progress. And I see I added this little drop-down menu just for fun on this so that I can get some feedback from them on how are they doing. That was one of those pre-made ones. So I can make up my own too, of course. All right, so that's another way of hyperlinking, but that's linking to a document that's already in your Google Drive. So I had already created that in my Google Drive, and I just went into the share settings and copied the link there, made sure that the rights were set so that students would be able to do that. If I don't want students seeing each other's files, I might create a Google form in which they submit their link to me, and then I'm the only one on the back end that can see their link, and that way it's more private to other students. And if that's something that's of interest to you and you don't know how to do forms, let me know and I can share some information with you. So read the directions on the page about hyperlinks so that you know what the requirements are. Take care, reach out if you have any questions.